everybody. Welcome. You're welcome at Don't Worry Wednesday with us, me and Haley. This is going to be fun. So, guys, we need topics. We currently don't have any unless Kendra's here. But you can just put them in the chat. We'll talk about whatever. Otherwise, we're just going to have a cool hangout with us night and chat about whatever you guys want to talk about. So, yeah. My thoughts on potatoes are they are the best food. I'm currently not watching Eurovision, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can validate what Katz is saying. Well, actually, no. You can like it. That's fine.
I also very much enjoy potatoes. Considering, I grew up in the potato state.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ireland. Oh, wait, that's not a state.
Yeah. Yeah. No, love potatoes. Sometimes when people ask the question of, like, if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, I'll answer potatoes. Because here's the thing, right? Potatoes are great. And, like, do you know how many different ways there are to cook potatoes?
Oh, there's tons.
Exactly. And so, like, it's a great option because you're not even going to get sick of it because there's so many different ways to eat it.
Right. You can fry them, you can mash them, you can bake them, you can slice them up and scallop them. I don't know why they're called scalloped potatoes. Do you know?
That's a good question.
I like them. I think they're great. But and I know what they are, but I don't know where the word scalloped comes from because then you go to a fancy restaurant and you order scallops and it's not scalloped potatoes.
That's like a shellfish, isn't it?
It is. It's something weird like that and it tastes funky. I've never really liked scallops. But I do
can't say I've
like
tried
scalloped potatoes. They're fantastic.
Maybe the potatoes were fed scallops.
If the potatoes what?
I said maybe the potatoes were fed scallops.
Oh, maybe yes, maybe they were. That's definitely a possibility. Oh, Ellie's got a question.
What's your question, Ellie?
Ellie, welcome. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Actually, I just saw you in my Discord server yesterday, but I haven't seen you on Don't Worry Wednesday for a while. James. It's good to see you, buddy. So yeah, Ellie, we'd be happy to talk about your question. Wait, James, you're being held captive? What is this craziness?
Who's holding you captive? Is it Joe? Is Joe holding you captive?
I will not confirm or deny whether or not I'm holding James captive.
I mean, James was pretty awesome. I wouldn't blame you for holding him captive.
Well, I mean... Oh, wait. A certain someone told you they were going to pay you a visit.
Oh, I'm holding you captive.
Oh.
I see. Well, it's for a good cause.
It's for a good cause?
Yeah.
All right, good. James, I think I've driven through your city before. I'm not going to say what the name of that city is, but I've driven through lots of cities too. So there's a good chance I've driven through yours.
Have you driven through my city before?
I have not. I've never been out in that area. Okay, yeah, I've driven through Chicago. Area. Yeah, you've sent me pictures before. It looks very nice over there. Like the mountains and the rivers and the mountains and the
yeah, we have mountains. It's really fun too. If you look at especially for the state here where I'm going to school, right? Or at least was going to school before I graduated. The northern and southern parts are very different, but they're both really pretty. Like here in the northern area, we have lots of mountains, great hiking.
Mm-hmm.
In the south, there's 5 national parks.
5 of them? Well, Lake Powell is one of them, right?
No, that's not a national park.
It's not? It should be. Okay.
Yeah, no, we have let's see. There's Zion's National Park, Bryce Canyon, Canyonlands, Arches, and I can't remember what the fifth one is, but I know there's 5 of them.
Ah,
Oh, Capitol Reef, I think.
okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of cool stuff. It just looks so nice out west. I would like to go there. Michigan's
It is
just a
very
big
nice out
old
here.
swamp.
Yeah. Does Michigan have any national parks?
We have a national shoreline,
Oh.
and we have national forests,
Mm-hmm.
but I
But no
don't
national parks?
know. I don't know if we have national parks. I mean, they kind of act the same as national parks. Like Sleeping Bear Dunes National Shoreline is, I mean, it's set up like a national park.
Yeah. So it's like protected and stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And you got to pay
Well, because I
lots
was
of
gonna
money to go
say,
there.
yeah, I was gonna say Idaho. I learned so all of the western states except for Idaho have national parks. Idaho's the only one that doesn't have one, but they actually don't have one by choice because they don't want all the restrictions that come with national parks, and
Oh,
they also don't want the increased tourism because national parks have like the prestige, so you get all the tourists.
that's
And
true.
so they have like national reserves and national monuments,
Uh-huh.
um, which like help protect the land, but they're not as prestigious, so you don't get the tourists, and they don't have quite as many restrictions, so then people could use the land more freely.
Oh. Well, that sounds pretty smart, actually.
Yeah.
So, okay, James, yes, you should be sorry that I had to drive through Chicago because it's your fault. Uh, actually, it's not. I always, if I'm gonna drive through Chicago, I drive through at like 2 in the morning because then traffic is like not so bad. Um, and it's still pretty at night. The city's quite beautiful. But I have been stuck there for like hours and hours and hours in crawling traffic, and it's just incredibly nuts. And then, okay, Ellie has a question.
Yep.
Ellie says, I'm modding a Discord server, and it's really difficult because someone else that's a mod is a pick me. I know hate is a strong word, but it's the only word that seems to fit right now. She and I clash because anytime I question her choice, she makes me the bad guy and attacks me. I don't know how to deal with her because I feel like Adam Sandler in anger management. Told to calm down and stop being mean when I'm not doing anything wrong. So that is my question. What is your question?
I
That,
think if I had to guess, they're asking like how to deal with the situation.
yes. Okay. Okay. Um, it didn't send. Okay. Cool. Um, yeah. How do you deal with her? That's a good question. I don't know. Like, I'm only a mod in one Discord server, and that's mine. And I'm not even really that much of a mod because I have other people that mod. Katz is a mod, and Riku's a mod, and Zay's a mod, and they handle most of the stuff for me. So like the only time I ever had to do anything like mod like related was like I had to like kick somebody, like ban somebody, and I hated doing it, but it was like, we had a big mod meeting, and I'm the admin, whatever, blah blah blah, and like the consensus was, we're gonna ban this guy, and I felt horrible. I messaged him, and he knew it was, you know, kind of coming, but yeah, it can be tough when you're trying to, protect an environment like that, but. Honestly, Haley has a lot of experience with modding servers.
You know, that's true.
From
And
from
unfortunately, it is not always easy.
It's not always
You know,
easy. Have you ever run into a
even
situation like this though, where like another mod is like a problem?
um, yeah, I've definitely had times when like one of the other mods hates me.
Uh huh.
You know,
Uh
not a
huh.
great situation.
Sure.
Um, but um, I mean, honestly, you just kind of have to learn to not let it bother you, which is not easy, right? But like, you kind of have two choices, right? You can step back and be like, okay, I'm just not going to engage with this person, or you can just be like, okay, I want to be actively involved in this, and so I'm going to let myself be actively involved. And then when you make that decision, then you have to decide that you're not going to let their comments specifically get to you.
Mm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
because if the person doesn't like you, they don't like you, and then at that point, it's like you can't do good in their eyes because they just don't like you. They've made the decision that they aren't going to like you, and so they're probably going to just not like what you have to say. And so you kind of just have to like learn to not take it personally and just acknowledge that, they might not be happy with what you have to say. But I mean, you have valid input. And I'm assuming that you're not the only two mods in the server. There's probably other mods too. And so, you can just present your opinion on issues. And if other mods agree with you, then they can jump in and agree with you. And if they don't agree with you, then, they can say that too. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, really, it's like, it's kind of similar to when you have to deal with people in real life. There's going to be times when you're working with people that you don't always get along with.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes you can choose to step back and you can be like, okay, I'm just not going to work with this person. But you don't always have that option. And so then you just have to figure out how to, you know, not let it get to you. And that's easier said than done, I know. But like, as you kind of get used to it and as you get used to that person, you can start to see, okay, well, I know that I'm not in the wrong here, but they're obviously upset, and that's their choice. And you just have to let them be upset instead. You just have to stop trying to fix everything and let them be who they're going to be and feel what they're going to feel and realize that that's not always your responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I
True.
mean, I'm sure you've dealt with people like that before, Joe. Not
Oh,
necessarily with modding, but I'm sure you have experience
oh,
dealing
for
with people
sure.
like that.
For sure. Um, I think I know what a pick me is. Is that like someone who's like looking for attention, and does all kinds of stuff that's like grasping for attention? Is that what a pick me is?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Ellie, what's your biggest weakness? Well, it happened when Haley was talking, and I saw that it came through the chat, and I was like, "What?" Haley said a bunch in that little short time, and I was like, "Wait, what's the biggest weakness here?" And I understand.
Probably not letting things get to, like, probably not letting them get to her and stuff.
Oh, I
And, like, just
gotcha.
letting them, yeah.
Okay, letting people think what they want of me and ignoring it. Gotcha. Yeah, that is tough. It's tough to, get to a point where you just don't care what other people think all that much. Because the point is, I mean, we do care what other people think. We care what people, what their opinion is of us. Ellie says, I'm a people pleaser and I hate it when people hate me. I definitely understand that. It's not an easy thing to do. It's ah I don't know. Like,
It's,
go ahead.
I'd say, yeah, it's a hard situation. I mean, I used to be a really big people pleaser as well, and I, like, could not stand the idea of someone hating me.
Sure.
It was, it was kind of a problem, actually. Like, realistically, it's not great to be that big of a people pleaser, right? Like, there's keeping peace. Keeping peace can be good,
Hmm.
but shouldn't come at like your own sacrifice. Like, you shouldn't have to sacrifice yourself just to keep peace and make people happy.
Right.
And I wish I could say there's an easy solution. I wish I could be like, you know what? I just was like, I'm tired of being a people pleaser, and then it all got better. Unfortunately, for me, I had to kind of learn the hard way. I had to go through experiences where people were just going to hate me, whether I wanted them to or not, and nothing I could do was going to change that.
Mm.
And through a lot of those experiences, I kind of figured out how to adapt and learned to prioritize myself and my happiness, and kind of just got used to the fact that there's going to be times when you can't do right by people and they just aren't going to like you.
That's true.
You know, it's not an easy way to go through it. It's going to hurt sometimes because again, you don't want people to hate you, but you know, it is a good growth to go through. If you can get through it, you'll come out better for it. And
Hmm.
surrounding yourself with people who do like you and do support you, and that you can actually like trust and rely on, can help too. Like, if there's someone you can bring in on the situation and be like, this person, like, this is what they're saying, you can get kind of an outside perspective, and that can help support you as you're going through some of it.
Sure. Absolutely. Ellie says if they hurt me deeply, it's no big deal. I cut ties. Yeah, I was gonna say that's generally the way to go when people hate you, or when you get the
Mhm.
idea that somebody doesn't like you, is you just stay away from them, right? Or you avoid them, whatever. But with people like this, they're just a bunch of jerks with sticks up their butts. Now, I think that's very uncomfortable for them. I would not want to have a stick there. I think that would be, that would be difficult to deal with. So obviously, if I had a stick up my butt, I would be pretty upset, probably. But no,
Words of wisdom from Joe.
yes, words of wisdom, and especially if it's the self-love stick.
You don't want my self love
I do
stick?
not want the self-love stick up my butt. You keep that to yourself. I don't care how loving the self-love stick is. Excuse me. But no, Ellie, I definitely get it. And it can be tough, I work with people. I work with two of my best friends, and we don't always see eye to eye. We don't always get along all the time. We go back and forth, and with both of these guys, I've had I've had disagreements with, and moments where we didn't talk to each other for a while, and somebody was doing something and somebody reacted a certain way, and then everything kind of went crazy. It's weird though, because you're working on a project. I remember Kyle, one of my co business owners, like he and I were working on his house, and so we're doing construction, and it's hard, and it's very labor intensive, and sweaty hard work. And we had this conversation like very early in the day, where he made me really upset because he gave me some advice but he wasn't taking into account all a whole bunch of different stuff. Like he was just logically cutting through and saying, "Yep, you do like this, blah 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 blah." And he gave me this advice, and it really made me mad because he wasn't, accounting for all these other aspects of what was going on. And so I don't know, we said a few words to each other that were kind of angry, and then it was like the longest silent day of work ever, where we just neither of us said anything to each other. And we just kept working. It was just like, whatever, we got to do this job, and then, we finally, by the end of the day, we kind of got it figured out. But yeah, I think so who's telling you to calm down and stop being mean? Is it the person that you're having trouble with, or is it the other mods that are saying this to you? I'm kind of curious, if they're kind of ganging up on you, as far as all these mods, because they're her friends, right? And so is it like her and the rest of the mods that are ganging up on you, or is it just like her that's telling you to calm down, stop being mean, all that kind of stuff? Because it's hard enough when you don't get along with someone and you have to deal with that stuff. But then when you get a whole bunch of other people, like they get their friends and they're supposed to be your friends too, and they kind of gang up on you, that makes it even more difficult. And I've been there before, and it's hard. Um, so, man,
I
Ellie,
was also wondering. I was wondering how she became a mod in this server, especially with like the way she emphasized that they were this other mod's friends, not hers. I was just wondering
yeah,
where her mod position came from and like what her tie to the server is.
sure, sure. Hey, Mianglios, welcome. It's good
Hey,
to see you, buddy.
Angelos.
Um, so yeah, Ellie, I don't if you're here and you're able to type. Oh, there we go. Okay. It's the person I'm having issues with, and then her sister. Okay. There's one mod that's indifferent and another that's scared to share her opinion, and then anyone who sees me using punctuation thinks I'm the bad guy. Ah. Punctuation, like
Hmm.
like the three dots you just left in our chat there. I'm so offended by your
I think
punctuation. I'm just kidding.
I mean, when I first was on Discord, I used to punctuate everything. Like, you would see perfect punctuation with all of my messages when I first joined Discord.
Ah, yes.
But, you know, even when I wasn't in a position of being a mod, people, I don't know what it is. People on the internet do not take kindly to punctuation. They're like, oh no, punctuation.
It's
They're
kind of weird, isn't
angry.
it?
They're upset. It is weird. But, like, I think I like it. I don't use so I'll use punctuation except for like my last sentence. I just won't put a period on it these days because just like excluding that final punctuation, even though it first brought me pain, it just made people like they stopped seeing my messages as angry. So
Ah, yes. So, okay, Ellie says, I became a mod because I insulted a hacker and took charge of a situation and am a virtual assistant. So I've got experience and protection they need. Got you. Okay. So they saw something in you and they were like, okay, come be a mod, right? But so here's the thing though. It's um being a mod, there's it's great for actually, I don't know, maybe Haley would know better than I would since you mod so many servers, but like for me, if I was having trouble and it was like a mod situation and they were like, yeah, blah 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 blah, and they were ganging up on me, and then there was all these problems, I'd just be like, look, I don't really want to be a mod anymore, and I'd just not be a mod. I mean, it is your choice, right? You can choose. It's not like you owe them anything. You don't owe them your modship or anything like that, and you know, it's I'm guessing they're probably not paying you to be a mod. So there's no like real vested interest financially. So I mean, it is possible. It's just I know because I'm the type of person that's like, if I say I'm gonna do something, if I commit to doing something, then doggone it, I'm gonna do it or die trying, right? Which is probably why I stayed in the marriage I was in for so long, right? Just because that's kind of like that's my personality. That's part of it. Um. So okay, you did. Ellie says I stepped back and the owner was understanding, but then things happened and the owner asked for me to come back because I care about the owner more than to pick me. I came back. Got you. Okay. Now that I'm back in the same circle, I need help. Got you. Have you
have you
talked to the
tried
owner?
discussing? That was what I was going to ask is if they've talked to the owner about this.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, maybe. So, was it the same situation why you left before, and the owner was saying that stuff? The owner was understanding about that because of the situation, same situation. Um, because that can get tough when it's like here it is again. We're doing the same thing. We're dancing the same dance, and it's all the same. Like that can be pretty tough. Um, but yeah, dang. So, hmm.
Yeah, I mean, as you were saying, being a mod is volunteer,
Uh
right?
huh.
Well, basically, like there's not any kind of like work contract. That's one thing that's great, right? If you're a mod and you don't get along with the other mods, you can just say that you're done with it, and you don't have to like worry about any of the obligations you would have with like an actual job. But and like it makes sense that you care about the owner and that's why you want to help.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, another thing you can do, right? So like, if it was a specific situation that happened that the owner needed help with, right? You can come back, help with that situation, and then step back again, right? Like, after the situation's dealt with, is there any need for you to continue to being actively involved? And if there is, but the owner knows your concerns, and if there's such a pressing need for you to be the one to help, like, handle these situations instead of the other mods, because it sounds like there's several mods, right? And
Yeah.
so why is it that you have to be the mod that handles this? And so I think if the owner has these concerns, then the owner needs to step up and help enact change so that it's not a situation where, for whatever reason, you are the only option they can go to, even though they know you're having issues with the other mods.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a mod like the mod team should be a team. You should be working together and
Yes.
working to be on the same page. And if there's discord among the mod team, then things are going to need to be reworked at some point because it's just going to cause more issues in the long run.
Sure. Yep.
Let's see. Ellie says, the owner is hesitant. The owner dubbed the pick me as the co-owner out of a move of desperation to keep things under control. But the mod that's scared to share her opinion was upset after I left and shared her opinion and got hammered by the pick me and her sister.
Dang, man.
It sounds kind of like a toxic environment, to be honest.
It kind of does. I agree. Hey, Baka, how's it going,
Hey,
man?
Baka.
Nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Um, but yeah, Ellie and Mianglios says that it sounds tough. And Mianglios, I understand being conflict avoidant. I've been conflict avoidant most of my life, and I don't do horribly in conflict. But I hate it. It's very uncomfortable. I have some friends who enjoy conflict. One of the reasons why we made Steve the president of BSS is because he's the kind of guy who gets in the middle of the conflict and, kind of thrives there, which is really cool. Because then he can get things done with like our distributors and everybody, like when we're having trouble. So he just gets in there and fixes it, fixes other people for us, right? Ellie says, pick me and her sister are the only ones bad about it. I love everything aside from them. Got you. Okay, so you've got two people that are really kind of kind of trouble for you, and the owner made the pick me a co-owner, which that sounds interesting. So I don't know, are is the pick me and the owner like are they in like a romantic situation? Because like that can affect our thinking. Maybe they're best friends from like early on, and that can affect, like when we have bonds like that. Um, so I don't know, but if you've got some people that are troublesome, um, I don't know. It seems like the owner ought to be involved.
I do agree that the owner needs to be involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think the best thing to do in this situation is to communicate directly with the people involved. You need to be communicating with the owner.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason the owner shouldn't be involved in this.
Right.
You need to communicate with the other mods, right? Like, honestly, I think the best thing you can do is communicate and see if you can come up with some kind of solution and resolution to this with the
Mm-hmm.
people directly involved. Because I mean, if you don't communicate with them, nothing's going to change. Things aren't going to get better. Um, and so, you communicate, you see if you can come up with a resolution. And if there's not a satisfactory resolution, then you might just have to step back. And you
Mm-hmm.
know what? It's okay to have to step back sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I understand your hesitancy. I mean, you already did step back once, and then the owner asked for you to come back. And now here you are, and the same stuff's happening again. And ugh, that's that's really tough. Especially because I'm sure if you're probably there because you care about the owner and you want to help. Because Ellie, I know you a little bit. We've talked, in VCs a few times, and you're wonderful. You're a wonderful person. And man, like, um, I can't imagine somebody having a problem with you. But I also know that no matter no matter how good you are, people have a problem with you. I mean, Jesus was like the arguably the best person ever in history, and they killed him. Right? His own people killed him. And I mean, that's just kind of how things go, like with hatred. And, when people there's envy and there's all these different, you go through all the deadly sins and you can think, okay, these are things that cause disarray among humans, right? They cause pain, they cause problems, they cause all kinds of stuff. And, uh, That's just tough when you've got a couple people that are causing problems and they kind of have like a hold in there. And there's, it sounds to me like the pick me and the sister are kind of established in this server. So, especially if, one's been made a co owner and it was out of desperation. I'm interested to hear what the desperation, like what that was all about, but you don't have to get into that. I'm sure it's a big, crazy mess. But, um, I don't know, Ellie. If it were me, and part of my perspective is I don't have time for nonsense like that. Like I have two businesses and I have kids and I'm co-parenting. My kids are like teenagers, and so there's all kinds of stuff, and I'm like flying around by the seat of my pants all the time. Like I'm always doing something. And so like if I got into a situation where there was this type of conflict and this type of problem, and it was being a problem for me, I would just say, "Look, I don't have time for this. I'm really sorry, but I got to go focus elsewhere." And that can be painful. That can be really hard, especially when you really care about the people involved. But yeah, like cutting those ties, even though it's painful, can be probably the most healthy thing you can do, especially if this situation doesn't look like it's ever going to get fixed. If you can go in and you can talk with the owner and you can talk with the other mods and you can see, just kind of lay it all out and be like, look, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what I did to make you guys upset. I don't know if I offended you somehow. I'm really, really sorry. But you know, we need to work this out if we're going to work together as a mod team. Like Haley was talking about, the mods should be working together as a team. You're looking over that server and, like when you have uh when you have stuff going on, it needs to be addressed. And this is something that's going on at the core of the server because it's between the mods. It's not just different members on the server that are causing problems. It's mods that are in conflict. And so with that, um, it needs to get addressed somehow. Like somebody needs to talk. You got to get the owner involved, talk to them. Probably get the other people involved and have some kind of conversation. And it's going to be really uncomfortable, probably, especially if you're conflict averse, like you were talking about Ellie and like Mianglios. And if you're kind of a people pleaser and you hate it when people hate you, it's probably going to be uncomfortable because some things are going to get said that might not make you feel good, right? But once it's all out on the table and all out on the line, and now we can figure it out. At that point, if everybody's willing to make forward motion happen, where it's like we're trying to fix this situation, let's fix it together. If you can't because they're still being that way, they just don't like you for some reason, and they're unwilling to work with you, then in my opinion, hopefully the owner will see that and maybe give second thoughts to having this person as a mod. Because if they're doing it with you, they're probably doing it with others. Right? I'm guessing. A lot of times people are pretty consistent. We can watch and see how people do things, how people respond to things, and get an idea for the kind of person they are. And if that's the kind of person they are, you're not the only one this is happening to, or has happened to, and will happen to in the future. So, I don't know. I mean, without knowing everybody involved in the situation, and I don't see the conversations happening, I can't make a real judgment call. But based on what you're telling me, it sounds to me like there's a couple toxic people in this server, and the owner probably needs to get involved and ask them to shape up. That's kind of personally how it looks to me. Um, and if they don't, then they probably shouldn't be mods. But in the meantime, if that's not going to change, if that's not going to get fixed, like by doing that, Ellie, you're free. You are a free thinking person. You're free to come and go from whatever server you want. And you know, if it were me and I was dealing with that, I'd probably just be like, look, I'm sorry, I don't have time to deal with all this stuff. I gotta go pursue other stuff. I gotta focus elsewhere. So that's probably what I would do. Um, I don't know, Haley. What you got? Anything else?
I think you did a really good job of covering that. Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
really, it's
thank you.
like, yeah, I've mentioned this before, but we as people, we only have so much energy.
Mm-hmm.
We only have so much time. Time and energy, they're a resource in life, honestly. And, you know, you have to decide where you want to focus that time and energy.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're around toxic people, a lot of times they're just energy holes. They're just going to drain you. And like,
Mm-hmm.
some days you might have more effort to engage in them, but at the end of the day, a lot of times you're just going to be feeling drained, and it's not going to feel like you accomplished much. You're just going to feel like you're stuck in this cycle and nothing's changing, and it gets really exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, like you said, I think you need to have a conversation with the owner. You need to set your expectations. You need to, maybe you don't know what your expectations are. And if that's the case, you should take some time, think about it. Think about what your expectations are. What is it that you want to see change? What is it that you want to get from this experience of being a mod? And then you need to communicate those clearly. And if the owner says that they want that too, and then the owner shows effort towards making those changes, then great. You know, change can take time, but like if you're seeing the effort to change, then that's good. But if the owner's like, well, I don't really want to like mess with things, I don't want to stir the pot, then you might just have to be like, okay, well, I just don't have the energy to give to this right now, and so I'm sorry, but I just can't handle it. And there's no shame in doing that. And I know it's hard, especially when you're a people pleaser and
Mm-hmm.
conflict avoidant. You want to just make people happy. You just want to give in, and but at the end of the day, you need to learn to prioritize yourself and love yourself. And you have to recognize that there's only so much you can give. And you need to save some for yourself too. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think just communicating clearly what it is that you're hoping to see change. And then either looking for that change or being able to step back if you're not seeing that is a great goal for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I think everything Joe said was great. I think Joe did a great job of thoroughly covering it.
Uh, well, I was playing off of what you said. Like, so what you said was great, and I just picked up where you were already going. So,
You still said the
excuse me.
words.
Well, yeah, and I said them in my own Joe-ish way. Like that's because I say things like a Joe says them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do.
You
It's
don't say them like
crazy.
like a Kevin or a Ryan or a
No,
Steve.
nope, I don't. Unfortunately for everybody around me, I say things like a Joe.
I'm sure it's a blessing.
Yes, yes. It's funny, Ellie, because I think just recently you were talking to me about the importance of self-care. And I hear this a lot. I think it's a sign because like maybe I'm just not good at self-care. And I
You
mean,
know, based on you saying you haven't been to the doctor in like 7 years.
what? I don't have any nothing's bothering me.
Yeah, but seeing the doctor is like a self-care thing.
Oh, I mean, I have good hygiene. Just because I have a beard doesn't mean it's not clean.
Yeah, but just because you can't see something wrong doesn't mean there's nothing wrong.
That's true. That's true. It's gonna be funny. I'll probably go to the doctor and they'll tell me I have this huge list of issues, right? And they'll be like, "Oh, now we're gonna hook you up to a hospital bed," and I'll be like, then I'll just be there. And I can't go to work anymore. Sorry, guys.
I could see you being like, yeah, no, I'm out, and just walking away.
Yeah, I'll be like, try and put me in a hospital bed. but you're gonna die in like 2 weeks. I'm like, well, then I'm gonna live those 2 weeks, buddy. um, but yeah, Ellie, I think just if I looked through our Discord messages, you had said something recently about self care and its importance, right? And this falls in that realm, right? As you're thinking about how you take care of yourself. Um, oh, I'm not. That's not how I'm supposed to use that information, huh? Okay. Excuse me. Um. Hey, I would just use your own advice. Take your own advice. I have trouble taking my own advice too. I will tell people like, "Hey, this is what you should do in this situation." And then I think about, well, if I was in that situation, I'd probably be doing the same thing they're doing because I'm a person and I have feelings and emotions and, like crazy thought processes and there's all kinds of stuff that goes into it. We don't always just make the logical decision, the logical, rational decision, um, because we're human. And that's okay. It's part of what makes us wonderful and beautiful. And you are no exception to that, Ellie. You are also wonderful and beautiful. And I'm really glad I know you. But yeah, this could fall in the realm of self care because
It is self-care.
your mental health is important. I've had to learn this over the years that it all kind of plays together. Our psychological and our emotional health is tied to our physical health and vice versa. Like they're all together, right? They make this being that we are. And so if something's not right, it can cause issues in all areas of our lives. And it makes self-care to be an important issue to take care of. Now listen to me talk. I'm the hypocrite now because I haven't been to the doctor in so long. And I still don't have an appointment to go to the doctor. But I can give you the ideal. I can tell you, look, this is probably what you should be doing. Do as I say, don't do as I do, I guess. Right?
I mean, you
Unfortunately.
know what they say? They say doctors make the worst patients.
I'm sure that's true. They just know too much. They ask all these questions, right? Lead
Yeah,
by example. Fine. I'll make a doctor's appointment. How's that?
that seems like a great goal, Joe. You
That's
should
a
make a
great
doctor's
goal.
appointment.
It's a great goal. But it's so hard. I have to pick up a phone.
You know, I get that. I have to see a doctor every 3 months just for like a prescription I've been on for like all my life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like a formality at this point. Every time it's time to like go see the doctor again, it's such a pain to pick up the phone and call the doctor.
Uh-huh. Yep.
I do it because you do what you have to, but
Right. Well, I don't even really have I don't have a doctor. I don't even have a doctor. Like
you should probably find a doctor.
my insurance has changed like 3 times since I've been to the doctor. And so my old doctor's no longer covered by the insurance that I currently have. And so it's like a big mess. And so then I have to find a new doctor and like go through all that hassle, and that just sounds crazy. But you know what? I'm going to do it. If it'll help you guys, I'll go to the doctor. And the eye doctor and the dentist. Ooh ee ooh ah ah ting tang walla walla bing bang. I knew that song. But thank you for telling me that. And and thanks for the topic, Ellie. Yeah, guys, we don't really have any topics right now. Do you have anything you'd like us to talk about? Like I knew that song personally. I've heard it before. Like I didn't have it memorized.
No, clearly the song is a person, and you knew that person.
Oh. Yes. No. I don't know. I don't know how to answer.
How to break Joe. How to
Whoa.
break his brain.
You've broken my brain and my camera apparently. It went all not focused. I'm gonna fix that right now. Always happens when I restart my computer. Like my camera does all kinds of weird stuff, and then like now I've got
That
color
sounds like
issues.
technology.
Technology.
Every time I do this stream, I always feel like I need my self-love stick to be by me.
Why don't you have your self love stick?
I could go grab it right now, actually.
Go get it. I want to see the self love stick. I gotta see this thing. What, that I turned orange? I should look into that I turned orange. Here, I'll turn orange again. What do you think? I'll turn like red. Now I have massive sunburn. Oh, look at that. It's the self-love stick. Wait, wait, wait,
Is
wait, 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 wait. Let me we're gonna full screen you. Ah, look at that. Self-love stick. Wow. You even had it engraved on there?
Yeah, it says self-love sticker on it.
Wow.
The camera's not like mirroring it, but
Nope. It's the right
that's
way.
cool.
Yes. Hey, we got a self-love stick in the house. That
Yep.
definitely looks like something I don't want up my butt.
Okay, but it's not meant to go up your butt. It's
That's
meant to
good.
beat self-love into people.
It's meant to beat self-love into people. All right. I'll beat self-love into myself. How's that?
That's a good use of the stick.
But I don't have a self-love stick.
Well, I could fix that.
You could fix that. You're gonna send me a self-love stick? All right.
As the self-love queen, I do believe that's in my jurisdiction to fix.
Well, best swatting stick ever. You look scary with that thing. I don't want to, for a longest time, I wanted to meet you in person. I don't know if I want to anymore.
You would not be the first person to run away from me with this stick.
I'm scared of the self-love stick. Actually, you know what? I've been hit with bigger sticks.
Hey, but I will warn you, this is a very solid stick.
It looks like a bat, like a baseball bat. Oh, it
Yeah,
is.
it's like a
It's
little
like a mini baseball bat. Look at
yeah,
that.
it is very solid.
Man, if I could probably tell you what kind of wood it is if I could, like, if I had it in my hand.
I could not tell you what kind of wood this is.
Uh,
I'm not that smart.
that's okay. I wasn't that smart until I opened a custom cabinet business, and then I started to understand what all these different kinds of woods look like. Um, but
But yes, no. I've had many people run away from me while I've wielded the stick.
really,
Yeah. Because, if they're being self-deprecating, then you grab the stick. But then, they feared the self-love.
I mean, I would be afraid of the self-love too if it was in stick form.
Hey, but you know what? Ultimately, it makes you fear the self-deprecation. Because you
Oh,
don't need the stick if you don't self-deprecate. So, all you have to do is love yourself, and then you don't get hit with the stick anymore.
hey, well, okay, I'm making a doctor's appointment.
That's good.
Wait, your dad had a stick and wrote Whopper on one side, have it your way on the other. That was the SWAT stick of our house. Took you till you were 20 to realize it was a Burger King reference? You didn't know that? Oh my. The SWAT
That
stick.
was one of the references that was one of the restaurants we actually had growing up in my town. We
Really?
don't have a ton, but we did have Burger King.
You had Burger King.
We did, yep.
I grew up Christian too. I didn't have. I mean, but that like. Oh, you only ate Chick-fil-A. See, we didn't have Chick-fil-A up until like recently. Yeah, a healthy diet, healthy Chick-fil-A diet. That's
You know, my town did not have Chick-fil-A, but blasphemous thing, at least around here, people here, they swear by Chick-fil-A. They're
it's
like,
good.
Chick-fil-A is the Lord's chicken. That's what they say here. But you know
Really?
what's funny? I don't actually like Chick-fil-A chicken. I think their chicken doesn't taste that good.
Really?
I
Oh
don't
my
like
gosh.
something with how they like have seasoned it or something. I don't know. It's the flavor of the chicken. I don't like it.
Okay. Well, then that's great. I'll take you to Chick-fil-A and I'll eat your sandwich.
Okay, well then I'll eat the frosted lemonades.
All right, perfect. I don't know. I was me and my son, my youngest son. We were riding back, and we went and got Chick-fil-A, and we were riding back to my house, and we were eating Chick-fil-A, and it's so good. Like we did see the thing about it is we were deprived. We didn't have it up until like a couple years ago. The first time I had Chick-fil-A was like a couple years ago, and we ate it, and he loves Chick-fil-A. I like Chick-fil-A a lot, and we both got two chicken sandwiches and the fries, and we ate them, and then we were like, man, I'm so full, but I want another Chick-fil-A sandwich just so I can have that taste in my mouth. Because I don't know. I enjoy the Chick-fil-A. Dutch Bros, I have no idea what that even is, so no, not in Michigan.
There's Dutch Bros around here. I've never been to Dutch Bros, but we do have it.
Ah, nice.
I want to say it's like coffee. I don't know.
I do enjoy coffee.
You know, I've never had coffee.
That's okay. Better than Starbucks. All right, Baka's back. Welcome back, Baka.
Welcome back, Baka.
You know, it doesn't take much to be better than Starbucks, in my personal opinion. I think most coffee is better than Starbucks. But, yeah, coffee, energy drinks, they got smoothies and shakes. It's so funny. Most coffee shops have all these like pastries and snacks and like chocolate stuff and like all these great, wonderful, decadent things. And I usually just go in and just, get a cup of coffee. And it's so expensive. And I'm like, man, I could have paid that much for a bag full of coffee that I could make for myself, right? Like I can just make it.
The only thing I've ever gotten, if I've been to like a coffee shop, has been either hot chocolate or a smoothie.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Or you know what? There is one in our hometown that also has Italian sodas.
Oh, those are good.
Hmm.
Wait, coffee and energy drinks help ADHD?
Well, so I think it's because the caffeine is a stimulant. But see, I've always said, who needs coffee when you have Adderall?
I mean, good point. That's a very
In
good
which
point.
case, I don't need the coffee or the energy drinks. I have the Adderall and the water. So look, Baka, look, I got water covered.
Yep. Water is good. You are correct, Baka. It's the best. It's the
Mm.
best. It's the best drink you can drink, in my personal opinion. But I had to recently switch. Like, I was drinking too much like coffee and soda and stuff like that, and so like now I've switched to water. Like halfway through my workday, I'll just drink water, and I actually feel a lot better by the end of the day. So there's something to that whole hydration thing. And what are we're supposed to be like what 70% water or something? Or is that
Something like
just
that.
or is that Earth?
Maybe both.
Maybe both.
Well, and you know what? The scriptures say we come from the dust of the earth, right?
That's
So
true.
like
Wait, 80,
clearly,
84 or 87? 84 or 87% water? We are? Haley, you should know. You were like, you did all this biochem stuff.
I mean, to be
But
fair,
you probably learned so much you forgot most of what. You've probably forgotten more than I've ever learned.
to be fair, it also would come down to how you're defining water at that point, because like, you know, you have a lot of tissue and stuff, and there might be water in the tissue, but is the tissue water?
Hmm. Good question.
And then like, you know, you have a lot of fluid in your body, and that fluid might be partially composed of water,
Hmm.
but if there's other things in that fluid, is it still water? Like, you could say it's a salty water, or is it not water anymore?
That's a good question. You know what? You know what? There's water in coffee.
You know,
There's water
that
in
is one
Coke.
that's true.
There's
What
water in
percent of
energy
coffee is
drinks.
water?
Yeah, coffee's basically water. I mean, it's water that's been like filtered through ground up beans that were roasted somehow.
Do you know who Nile Red is?
Who?
Nile Red? He's a
Mm,
YouTuber.
no, I do not.
He's a chemistry YouTuber. It's
Ah,
great. But he also has a channel Nile Blue where he does a lot of like crack type videos. And he made coffee from scratch one time on his channel.
really?
Yeah, he went from the bean to coffee.
Really? So, like, was the bean roasted or was it like a raw bean?
He went from raw bean to coffee.
Raw bean. Wow. That's pretty crazy. And it's crazy to me
Yeah.
how all these different beans and all these different types of roasting them can create so many different flavors of coffee. It's ridiculous. But
Mhm.
it's one of those things we've been gifted with on this planet. There's all kinds of stuff. But, Baka says approximately 90% of blood plasma, which is the liquid part of blood, is water. So blood itself is about 80% water, 20% solids. And some people are 10% more banana than others.
Mm,
Is that like after you
yeah.
eat a banana, then you are 10% more banana?
I think they're talking about how much DNA, like how much our genome is in common with the banana.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that a thing?
it is a thing.
Really? We're closely related to the banana
Um,
genetically?
according so if you look at the DNA itself, it looks similar. But the thing is, when people compare the DNA, they're not looking specifically at the protein coding genes, they're looking at the DNA as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of our DNA is not actually turned into protein. We have a lot of like excess DNA that's not actually like important genetic information,
Mm.
which actually is good because then when you have a mutation, the chances of that mutation messing up a really important gene are lower if excess stuff, right? But um, but yeah, so I think if I remember correctly, in terms of DNA similarity, it's like 50% banana. But it's a lot lower if you look at like the actual like protein encoding information.
Wow. So we're 50 to 60% banana.
Yes.
Some people are more, some people are less. I think I'm probably more bananas than you. That's my opinion. I'll go to a doctor and I'll ask them and then they'll tell me. How much
But
banana am I? Am I 50% or 60%?
yeah. But then, when you think about it in the context of how much of that's actually used for our proteins, it's not a lot.
Uh,
Because it's only like, I want to say like 2% of DNA is actually encoded into protein.
Ah, interesting. Master Lay, welcome. 40% proteins are identical. Hello, by the way. Popping in to say hello since I'm a stress ball and can't sleep. Oh, no, I'm sorry, buddy.
Well, maybe we can help him unstress because this is Don't Worry Wednesday.
It is Don't Worry Wednesday, and we don't currently have any topics that we can go through right now. I don't think. Let me double check again. Yep, still no new topics in there. So we're just kind of shooting off the cuff. Sing a lullaby. No. No, thank you.
Joe, you could sing such a great lullaby.
I could not. Thank you, though.
Why not?
I appreciate you telling me I can sing a lullaby, but I'm not going to sing a lullaby.
But Joe, you're literally a published musician.
Yeah, I know, but I never sang a lullaby. What
You're
up,
still a published
Savage?
musician. That's more than I can say for myself. I am not a published musician.
Oh, Savage Doorman is a published musician. Yeah, that guy.
But Savage Doorman isn't live on stream right now.
That's true. Savage, sing a lullaby to yourself and just telepathically send it to Masterlay so then he can sleep. Wait, you're so stressed about the U.S. border, just overthinking all the bad scenarios. What about the U.S. border?
He's coming into the U.S. He'll be crossing in the U.S. border.
Oh, you're coming to the United States? Rockabye baby. With the wind blows, yada yada. Perfect. You're flying to the U.S. in 2 days. Ah. In Dallas. Dallas, Texas.
I've been to Dallas.
Me too. Just their airport. And just for 4 hours, and then I left.
I got to explore the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It was fun.
It's big. Sounds like it's big.
It is big, that's true.
Yeah.
There's very much I did not get to explore because it is huge.
Yeah. Savage says it's kind of sucky. What, Dallas is kind of sucky? The airport? When I was there, they didn't have Chick-fil-A. I was really upset. Is it as big as Denver's? I don't know if it's as big as Denver's, but they don't have whatever the horse is.
They don't have Lucifer.
Lucifer. Thank you.
The Dallas Fort Worth airport was a big airport though.
Yeah.
No, because Dallas Fort Worth is the area itself is bigger than Denver.
Oh
I
yeah.
think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The city.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Denver's not that big of a city. I mean, it's.
No, there's lots of little outlying towns, but.
Mm-hmm. But all those cities are so much nicer than the ones we have here in Michigan. We get Detroit. Seriously.
Well, you know what? At least people know your cities exist.
In Michigan?
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like
we've got Detroit and we've got Flint. Everybody knows those. Because of the crisis and the crime.
If people visit the U.S., they go towards Eastern U.S., right?
Uh-huh.
There's the only part of the U.S. that exists in the West is California. If people are coming to visit the U.S., right? If they're not from the U.S.
Yeah, but there's so much good between the Mississippi River and California.
Yeah, but people are you know what exists? You know how what comprises the U.S.? California, New York, Texas, oftentimes Florida.
Oh yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The rest of it's people from Europe will be like, so where in the U.S. do you live? I'll be like, Michigan. They're like, what, Michigan? What's Michigan? Vegas. Yeah, Vegas is big.
Yeah, I guess people do know Vegas.
Yeah.
But if you said Nevada, they wouldn't. I feel like they wouldn't know Nevada, they'd know Vegas.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I know Las Vegas is in Nevada, but people would, like I feel like they exist as separate entities in the minds of foreigners.
You think so?
Yeah, like I feel like if you were like, oh, come to Nevada, they'd be like Nevada. It's like, yeah, Las Vegas. They'd be like, oh, Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'd know that one. It's like this
Yeah.
li- big old ball of lights and electricity in the middle of the desert.
Okay, but people don't like. It's more than just people not knowing the city exists. I feel like people just don't know the state exists.
Nevada?
No, like not Nevada specifically, but like Idaho. You know, people, Idaho. What's Idaho?
Yeah, that's true. I almost lived in Idaho. I almost took a job over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What part?
it was in Boise.
Figures. If you
Yeah,
look at a population map of Idaho, that's like where all of the population is.
I'm sure. I'm sure. That's like it. Wait, the airport crew in Frankfurt did not know that Poland is a country?
um,
What? They're right next door. Ain't
I'm like,
knowing
you
nothing
know,
in
I may
Nebraska.
not be the best at geography, but at least I know Poland is a country.
You missed your flight
You know
home
what
because
though?
they didn't know that Poland is a country? Oh my gosh.
Okay, you know what I learned recently?
Hmm.
Apparently, it's not an easy question to ask how many countries are in the world.
No, I don't know how many
It's a very
countries there are.
complicated question
Yeah. Well, because then
because
what
it
determines a
depends on how you're
country?
defining things.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
well, and
there's
then
like
because like
Luxembourg and there's, like,
yeah, well, so like there's the independent states, right? So you have the ones that like are like independent countries that are very well established, right? Those are but then you start to have the dependency things, and then it's like, well, how do you classify that, right? Like, for example, Puerto Rico. Is Puerto Rico a country? I mean, it's a territory of the U.S.
that's a good question.
Um, or like Greenland is technically a dependency of Denmark,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's like, is Greenland a country? And
Good question.
then you have things like Antarctica, where it's like, well, what's Antarctica?
It's uninhabited, except for scientists that go there sometimes, and the Antarctic cruise is sometimes
I
inhabited.
mean, it's a continent, but does it count as a country?
That's a good question. I don't know. Does it have a government? Is it sovereign? All that kind of stuff.
It's considered independent territory, except there's like seven random countries that try to claim parts of it as theirs, and then all the other countries in the world say that they don't get to claim it.
Antarctica.
Yeah, most countries are like it's completely independent, and then there's a few random countries that are like, well, actually, I own this part, and then the other countries just ignore them and they say it's all independent.
Yes. Savage, you're right. Yakko from the Animaniacs did a song of all the countries of the world.
Yes,
Look it up.
but that's a very outdated. It's a very outdated song.
It is. It's old. It was from like when I was a kid, right? So like,
Yeah,
so it's old.
it's not accurate anymore.
Mhm.
Like I'm pretty sure in that song they still say Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, that's right. They do. And Ellie was singing it. United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru.
Hey, Jamaica, Peru. Yeah, I know the song. You know,
Yep.
it was before my time, but I know the song.
Yes. Just a little bit. I don't know all of it. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, in the country, like if I remember correctly, they say Czechoslovakia in that one, but it's no longer Czechoslovakia.
Right. It's the Czech Republic and what?
Slovakia, I think.
Slovakia? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got baloney in
Mm.
our slacks. Yes. Perfect. Dang, Master Lay, I'm sorry to hear that. Like sounds to me. See, you it. So you told them you're flying to
That's
Poland. They
wild. I
went, that's
can't
not a real
imagine.
country. They took your phone.
I,
What the heck, man? This happened in Germany? I'm thinking about visiting Germany. Like, I have some
I
friends
feel
in
like
Germany I want to visit. Like, if I gotta get, like, all. Well, I'm American, so they know America exists. Actually, that could work
okay, but what
against
if they
me.
don't, Joe? What if they say America's not a real country?
We're the only real country.
That's wild, though. I can't imagine being told Poland's not a real country.
Yeah.
Countries without a First Amendment scare Baka.
Wait. Um. Probably that's everybody but the United States.
Okay, but you know what? I feel like the United States scares me these days too.
Yeah, that's true. There's plenty. You know what? Here's the thing. There's plenty to be scared about. All you got to do is look around. Turn on the news. You'll find ways to be scared. That's their job, to make you scared. So, or you can come to Don't Worry Wednesday and we'll be like, look, don't be scared. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. It's like when y'all are telling me I need to go see the doctor. I'm like, just don't worry about it. It's okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't
but look
see
at
as
you
well as I
checking in
used
with
to.
your
I got these
progress on that,
glasses
Joe.
now, Like, it's so funny because I was just telling Kyle today when I was at work, I'm like, we were talking about our eye troubles. Like, he's very nearsighted and I'm very farsighted, right? And so I'll be like, yeah. So I go to church and, like, I'll have the hymnal book, where you sing out of. And, like, I don't ever wear my glasses at church. But, like, so I'll try to sing out of the hymnal. And it's like, way, like, I can't get it far enough away from me to have it not be blurry. It's almost there. Like, just out of hand's reach is clear. But by then, the words are too small for me to read. I can't see it, right? So, like, it's ridiculous.
Clearly, you just need to get new eyeballs.
Yeah. You know what? We'll just start now. I'll just take these ones out and then order me some new ones on Amazon or something.
You know what though? My poor younger brother, his vision is not great right now.
Oh,
I
yeah?
don't know if I told you what happened to his eye.
Oh, wait. No, you did.
Yeah, with the like corneal laceration.
Yes, yes. That made my butt tingle when you told me about that. I was like, oh, oh, that's one of those. What did he get?
Yeah.
What he got hurt on? What did he get?
One of our cats scratched his eye while he
That's
was
right.
sleeping.
That's right. Ow. Oh, cat scratch on
Yeah.
the eyeball. Ugh.
Yeah, and then it ended up going all the way through his cornea, and
Dude,
then his eyeball was leaking juices.
my eye is leaking juices. Oh no.
It was not great. But you know what? His eye is the doctor saved his eye, so you know what? He has two eyeballs.
Have they have they been able to, like, help it
Um,
at all?
they're doing what they can, but it's a little bit hard, you know, when like I think it's like a little misshapen now. And
Gotcha.
since they had to do stitches to like close it up, I think he now has like a scar across his cornea.
Ouch. Ugh.
Um, but my mom's wanting to make an appointment with like this really like with like the top eye care center in the United States
Uh-huh.
and see if there's anything they can do for it because she wants him to get vision back, but
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Wow. Hey, Savage, have a good night, buddy. Uh, go learn that
Bye,
Yakko
Savage.
song. Go learn that Yakko song. I expect you to know it by wait, tomorrow's talent night, right? You should perform it tomorrow at your brother's talent night.
We could do Don't Worry Talent Night.
That's right. That's right. Um, yeah, and Ellie, you should feel sympathy through your butt.
Ooh, you know what, Joe? We could start doing Do Talent Thursday.
What? What
Or like Do
Thursday?
Talent Tuesday.
Do Talent Tuesday because it'd be DTT.
Yeah.
DTT DTT. Wait, Masterly, your pals from work had laser eye correction surgeries. On one hand, cool, lasers, healthy eyes, yay. On the other, scary, lasers, eyes, ow, ow. I'm sure their wallets said at least one out too. Yes.
You
Yes, I'm
know,
sure. Laser eye surgery is not cheap.
I have access to powerful lasers at my university,
Let's go.
but I think those lasers would hurt my eyeballs.
More than likely. More than likely. TNT, baby. Talent Night Thursday. I like it.
I think that sounds fun.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm attending
I'm a fan
2
of
talent
team.
nights and they're both TNTs this week. There was a talent night yesterday, which is Tuesday. There's a talent night tomorrow,
Hmm.
which is Thursday. And I'm
I know
going
how
to
to make TNT.
I'm sure you do. Why am I not surprised? You got a self-love stick and TNT. Like you should combine the two. You got self-love TNT stick.
You know, someone once told me I should get a self-love shotgun.
Ooh, that'd be something. I usually say keep Haley away from TNT, but that could be the one exception. And Ellie, you were talking about people with sticks up their butts. Imagine if they were dynamite sticks, dynamite self-love sticks up their
That sounds like
butts.
fun.
Wow. If Ryan were here, he'd be so proud of us for talking about this. Oh my
I
gosh.
know. After this, Ryan's gonna be like, Haley's not allowed on show anymore. He's gonna ban me.
Yes, well, who could ever ban you, Haley? Like seriously.
You're right. I'm too scary to ban.
You're not scary. Well, actually, yeah, you are. Never mind. You're scary, but you're so nice. Except for the self-love stick.
No, the self-love stick is nice. It teaches you to love yourself.
No, it doesn't. Never
It
taught me
does.
that.
Well, that's because you've never felt it in person.
Hmm. I still don't want to come see the self-love stick. It would be such a blast. You guys with the puns. You guys got all the puns going on.
You know, I love puns.
Yes, puns are great.
They're
They
very punny.
I refuse. Nice.
You know, puns will just blow you away.
They, yes, especially the TNT puns. There's a possibility it'll blow. Yes. Perfect. Man. So now that we've covered all that ground. What's brown and sticky? I don't know. Ellie, what is brown and sticky? I can think of lots of things that are brown and sticky. I was
I can
working with
also think
stuff
of
today
many
that was
things.
brown and a stick. Of course it is. I
Well,
mean,
you know, it's
your
brown and
self-love
sticky and
stick
full of
is
love.
almost brown. It's like tan.
Yeah, well, I was just say, what's brown and sticky and full of love? A self-love stick.
A self-love stick up your butt.
No, Joe, I don't think.
Sorry. I got a brown
You know,
sticky self-love stick up my butt. I'm so glad you're here, Haley. I can't say this kind of stuff when Ryan's here.
you know,
He's probably gonna watch, and then he's gonna be like, "What happened to my show?"
like I said, Joe, you're gonna get me banned because he can't ban you, right? Because like you're like an established part of Every Wednesday. But he'll be after this. He'll be like, Joe, you can never have Haley again.
Yeah, probably, but I'll be like, "No," and he'll be like, "Okay." I've seen Ryan get mad one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his eyebrow raised like a millimeter. He was so mad. That
Was he
was
mad at you,
cheeky.
Joe? Did you make him mad?
Did I make Ryan mad? No. I don't. Well, maybe I did. I don't know. Yeah,
Mhm.
the disappointment in my voice. What when I said a stick? I wasn't expecting it to be a stick. I was like thinking
Well,
of all the different brown sticky substances that I could think of. I'm like, well, let's see. There's poop. Um
maple syrup.
Maple syrup. Yes. There's
You know,
all the wood fillers that I had to use today. Wait, you think you've seen Ryan mad? Like you happy about you two being
mhm.
around? Madly happy about us being around. Yes. What has
No,
wheels and flies? A
I feel like with
flywheel?
some of your humor, I can tell that you're like a boy dad. I can just tell that you're like a father of boys.
Because of my sense of humor?
Yeah,
Yep. I have no daughters so far. I'm not planning on having more children, but
you know, I might be a little surprised if you came one day and you're like, I'm now.
I'm what? I'm a father?
I said, no, I said I might be a little surprised if you just came one day and said you had a daughter.
I had a daughter? Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that would surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, I think so too. It would surprise me. What has wheels and flies? A garbage truck. That's right. There are lots of flies on garbage trucks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, again, we don't really have topics, but if there's things you guys want us to discuss, we will happily discuss whatever you guys desire of us.
Yes, yes. Put a topic in the chat, or we'll just keep going where we're going here, and it's we might end up nowhere good. Wait, I am a girl's dad. You don't have to have a girl to be a girl's dad. What makes me a girl's dad?
Ellie wants us to discuss whether butter is food lotion.
No, butter is food in and of itself.
It could still
In
be food
fact,
lotion.
in fact, Haley,
Uh-huh.
keep them entertained for like 15 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay. um, you know, I'm a little concerned about what Joe just went to get. Um, if he goes and grabs butter to eat in front of us, then I think we all need to pressure him to go to the doctor again. You know, I think that sounds like a great plan. Um,
You think what?
did you go and grab butter to eat?
No. I have to. This is the first time this has ever happened to me, and we're talking about butter, and butter is food. I'm the
Yeah.
Viking. Yes, raw. So okay, so my breakfast in the morning is peanut
Butter?
butter, peanut butter, and bulletproof coffee. You ever heard of bulletproof coffee? Okay,
I have not.
I drank half of my bulletproof coffee this morning and then I didn't drink the rest of it and I just left it setting and I forgot about it. And then I got home from work and I was like and I saw my mug sitting there and it's half full of bulletproof coffee. See?
I'm a little concerned by this. Okay, I mean, think of it this way, Joe. You drink that, that could be your arteries.
Whoops. Well, that was unexpected. So apparently it all just goes to the top, right? Oh, great. This is going to be a great mess to clean up. Because you know what bulletproof coffee has in it?
Butter.
It's coffee and it has butter and coconut oil in it. So you end up you start your day with 400 calories of fat.
I think your heart would like to have a conversation.
No, that my heart would like to have a conversation if I ate lots of sugar.
No, your
That's the big
arteries,
myth.
Joe. Think of your arteries.
Well, they're fine. They make
Mm.
and I'm knocking my light over. Holy cow. All right. What a
Did the
day.
coffee spill on important equipment?
The coffee spilled on my desk. It didn't really get on anything. I mean, a little bit got on my keyboard, just some drips. But I have a keyboard cleaning kit, right? That was pretty great. We're going to save that. I'm going to save that clip.
Yeah, that clip needs to go down in history.
But no, like
Ryan's gonna be so
eating
concerned when he
fat,
comes back.
eating fat isn't that bad for you. Like that's
Hey, it depends on the type of fat, though.
right. These are like medium
And
chain
fats. Hey,
triglyceride.
okay, here's the thing: fats that are solid at room temperature are generally not good.
Like these ones?
Yeah, like those ones.
Because it's room temperature.
Yeah, that is
Well,
not good fat for
like,
you.
but like peanuts and almonds, they have fats that are in them, right? And those are supposed to be the good ones, right?
Peanuts and almonds are not fat. Those are like nuts.
Yeah, but there's fat in them. They're
Okay, but
fatty.
that's different.
And Ellie says they can be some of the best fat for you.
It
See, you
depends.
just
There's it's very nuanced, but like a general rule of thumb, if it's solid at room temp, it's probably not great. That does not mean that the not solid ones are good, but generally solid at room temp can be bad.
yeah. See, I'm gonna go with Ellie. What Ellie's saying. Ellie says butter, coconut oil. These are amazing for your health. Yes. I don't know. Here's the
Um,
thing. Here's the thing, and here's why. Here's why I have that every day. Because for one, it helps me mentally because fat is most of the calories that your body consumes is consumed by your brain. Like your brain uses most of the calories that you consume. And so when you set yourself up with that many calories right off the bat, then it helps get your brain going, right? And the other thing is that fat gets digested a lot slower. And so now I feel full for most of the day. Like I don't have to eat as much throughout the day because I have that. And so then I don't have to stop and take a lunch break. That's annoying, right? So that way I can just work like 10 hours straight without a lunch break.
well, I think lunch is kind of important though.
Eh, lunch munch. You've been put on almost every healthy diet at one point or another. You know, honestly, I hear all these conflicting reports. It's so funny. And I don't know. I could go into all the conspiracy theories about, like I think pharmaceutical companies are controlling the world. And I think the only reason that they, like they want to keep us sick so they can sell us drugs. I've heard that. I don't know if that's really legit, but I do think that pharmaceutical companies have a lot of pull on our country. And the other thing too is that there's a lot of nutritional information that's put out by the United States Department of Agriculture. It's not put out by the Center for Disease Control or the World Health Organization or anything like that. It's the US Department of Agriculture. So they're not necessarily interested in keeping us healthy. They're interested in selling food.
You know, I always say that the best place to get diet advice, is from your actual doctor. But unfortunately for us, Joe doesn't go see a doctor.
That's right.
So he can't get diet advice from his doctor if he doesn't go see his doctor.
That's right. I can't. Darn it.
But no. I mean,
Except now I'm going to go see a
you
doctor
know,
and they're going to be like, you eat what?
here's the thing, right? What's healthy for one person won't always be the healthiest for someone else. We each can have unique dietary needs.
That's true.
And so, it's not our place to tell someone what is or isn't healthy. That's up to them to discuss with their doctor. But, Joe, that requires having a doctor. And if you're not going to go see a doctor, then I feel like I can, by proxy, step up and give at least general advice.
What's your advice? Go see a doctor?
Well, that would be the best advice.
That would be the best advice.
But also, I think, maybe not drinking butter
Not
might be
drinking butter
good.
is good? I don't know. It works pretty good for me. We'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting. You know what? I'll come back. I'll go to the doctor. We'll see what they say. Because I've had this regimen for a few years where this is like every morning I have coffee with butter and coconut oil in it and a spoonful of peanut butter. And then I eat like a healthy dinner, usually like some chicken and rice or something, and maybe some peas or, beans or whatever.
Not bad.
And that's it. And that's generally what I eat through the day. Oh, and then, when I have weak moments, I'll eat like chips.
I love that that's your weak moments.
Like tortilla chips.
Let's see. Lay asks, if you submerged a paper with a bullet list in coffee, would that classify it as a bullet coffee too? Maybe it could be bullet point coffee.
Bullet point coffee. That's good.
Well, I feel like in some ways it's like the question of when people ask like, are hot dogs sandwiches?
Are hot dogs sandwiches?
Yeah.
People ask that?
Because, yeah. Because like, what's a sandwich, right?
Bread,
you have like
and
bread
meat.
And meat.
Mm-hmm.
What's a hot dog?
It's bread and
bread
meat.
And meat.
Yeah. That's true. Well, then is a hamburger a sandwich?
I feel like hamburgers are classified like in the same category as sandwiches.
I think yeah. Well, you go to a restaurant and then on the menu they have sandwiches and that's where the hamburgers are. But I don't think I've seen hot dogs in the sandwich section of a menu.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah.
Okay, or you know what? Here's a question. What is chili classified as? Is it a soup? Is it a stew?
No, it's chili. It's its own classification.
See, that's what I've always felt too, right?
Yeah.
But there was one time I was like at a ski resort, and their soup of the day was chili.
So it shouldn't have been soup of the day. It should have been chili of the day. Chili.
Yeah, I know. I was
like,
but chili is chili. But then apparently it's a debate as to what chili is classified as, and I didn't know that was a thing because I find chili is chili.
Ah. Hey, see you later, Mianglios. Thanks for stopping in.
Ellie says this is why Ryan's not on your server.
Ryan is on my server. I think, unless he left. No, he's there. Wait. Yeah. He's known as Banana Sama on my server. Chili is a stew. I think chili is probably, it's more like a stew than a soup.
Than a soup? But I feel like chili is chili. Chili's its own thing.
It is. And there's like 500,000 million infinity-ish versions of it. Yeah, he's not active. He's not active on Discord because his computer is like totally off. Like Ryan and Nyansai are in Japan and for like 3 weeks. That's why he's not on Nowhere Wednesday, and So
To be fair, Ryan's not active in his own Discord server either, even when he is around.
right, that's why he has so many mods. But usually he's on, at least online. He's like me. He's got the little moon thing.
Hi, Wix.
Hey, Wix, how's it going? We're not right at the end. We're just getting started. We're arguing about food and what's good for you and not. Like we're just Haley's sending me pictures of normal cutout sections of arteries and fatty material deposited in the vessel walls and all this stuff. Telling me that I shouldn't drink bulletproof coffee because that's what's going to happen. When actually,
I'm just saying, I don't think drinking butter sounds good for your health.
the problem is sugar. Because your body takes sugar and turns it into fat. That's why we gain weight when we eat lots of sugar. So like sugar, like the sugars is what like goes in and then gets stored as fat, and the excess
Hey, but there's
storage.
also fats. Joe, I've learned all about the mechanisms of which things
I
are
know
processed
you
by our
have, and
bodies.
they
I have
lied
learned
to you.
way
I'm
too
kidding.
much.
I'm kidding. They
I have
didn't lie
learned
to you.
more than I could ever desire to know.
Yeah.
The amount of pathways I had to memorize for tests
Oh, I'm
was
sure.
painful.
I'm sure it was ridiculous. Well, and the hormone insulin plays a big role. And all that. That's why, when you have diabetes, insulin is the thing. Um, but yeah, but that's why, like
Way
it when we
sending me.
when we eat lots of sweets, we gain lots more weight because it stores that stuff as fat. And here's the other thing, like when I eat a high fat diet, I eat a lot less. When I eat sugars, I'm hungry in like 10 minutes. And I need to eat more, and I feel all like weak.
But there's also ways you could have like healthier. You could have a healthier diet without replacing sugar with like unhealthy fats, like butter.
Yeah, but obviously I care so much about my health. I haven't been to the doctor in 7 years. Uh,
Okay, I'm passing on this image that Master Lay sent me. It
okay.
teaches us the rules of food identification.
Of what? The what is this? The cube rule of food identity. So salad, toast, sandwich, taco, sushi. Whoa. And a calzone has all of it? Wait, I'm confused. I'm confused by this diagram.
Why are you confused by the diagram?
Is that like how filling it is for you, or
No, like I think like for example, like sandwich has like the two slices of bread
uh-huh.
that sandwich the thing. Sushi,
Oh.
you have like the
Oh, it's
roll, and
rolled.
then there's stuff
Ah,
inside.
yes, and taco is it like a taco shell toasted just I see. I get you. Okay. It implies that pizza is
And
toast. Oh, yeah, just normal chill conversations. You guys have a topic for us to talk about for 10 minutes? Or me and Haley are just going to argue about food. Oh no. Haley's got that look in her eye. I'm scared now. She's going to get the self love stick. Hey, see you later, Ellie. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yep. Now I'm going to get beaten with the self love stick.
I'm just saying, I don't think you should be drinking butter for breakfast.
It's like the third time you said that. Must be important.
Hey, I cannot think of any nutritionist ever that would hear you were drinking butter for breakfast and they would be like, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It'll be cool. I'll have him do a full blood panel workup. Like when I go see the doctor.
You do that. I'm gonna be following up with you on this too.
What are you gonna ask me if I saw the doctor?
Yeah, I'll be following up on you. I'll be keeping you accountable.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you gonna DM me like every day? Be like, Joe, make a doctor's appointment.
I will.
Joe, did you make a doctor's appointment? Joe, did you make a doctor's
I'll
appointment?
start sending you doctors' numbers. I'll start sending you numbers of like
Of the doctors in my area, you're gonna like look up.
Yeah.
That's great. Random topic, go. Wait, a nutritionist working with a life insurance company would love the idea. Oh yes.
That's true.
Random topic.
Then let's see.
Is it
Is it bad to relive embarrassing memories from the past and shoo them away with haha silly me? No, I think that sounds like a healthy way to deal with things.
Yeah, I think it's probably okay.
Like, here's the thing, right? Memories, they're memories. They'll come to mind whether we want them to or not sometimes.
That's true.
And so
they
you know
just,
what?
Like, pop in there and it's crazy.
If you can laugh at yourself from your embarrassing memories, that's great. That's way better than like reliving the horror and then like beating yourself up over it.
That's what I usually do.
And that's why we have a self-love stick.
That's why we have the self-love stick. Exactly. That's why it's there. They're like, Joe? Stop it. Stop not loving yourself. The funny thing is Discord is filtering out that noise, and so it's not coming through. It's just oh, when you laughed and did it, I could hear it.
That's what noise cancellation does. It tries to diminish the threat, but we both know that it's making a noise.
The threat is real. Yep, I can just hear it like when you hit your hand with it, will make other noises like boop, boop.
Yes, James, I do actually have the stick.
Yeah, and it says self-love stick on it.
It does.
It's a threat made with love.
It is.
I will beat you.
I want to read Lay's example. His example. I dropped a hot toast on my aunt when I was 7. The ketchup was so hot she had to visit the hospital for a burn. I regularly revisit this memory.
Oh no.
Hey, you know what? When I was little, I used to love to have my parents read to me, right? I would like bring a book and I'd be like, Mom, read to me. Mm-hmm. But my nice ADHD self could not sit still for the life of me. There were times my mom would read to me and I would accidentally.
And you would what? You cut out there.
I would accidentally kick her in the face while she was reading to me.
Oh my gosh. Accidentally?
Yeah, because like it's not like I was trying to kick her, right? She was just reading to me, but because I couldn't sit still, I would just like squirm and then I would accidentally kick her.
Your poor mother. How many times did you get kicked in the face?
We can laugh at it now, She laughs at the fact that I used to kick her.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. I used to punch and kick my kids, and they would punch and kick me too, because we trained martial arts together.
People could take that clip out of context.
Yeah. You know what else is funny that happens in martial arts? Like, 29-ish year old man,
mm-hmm.
got laid out on the floor by a 13-year-old girl.
That's nice.
Yes. She was a triple black belt, triple 3rd degree black belt.
Hey, you know what though? Sometimes the 13-year-old girls are terrifying.
Yep. That made her day and her parents' day too, both of them. Like when they saw that happen, I was sparring with her, and then I was gonna do this really cool jump maneuver, like jump an aerial kick and get more points by jumping and kicking her in the head. And so I was going to get like double points and it was going to be great. And then she anticipated, she saw me leave the ground and then did a really quick side kick right into my gut. And since I was up off the ground, I just flew back onto the ground. And then she had this huge smile on her face, and she reached down to help me get up, and I took her hand and she pulled me up, and we high-fived each other. It was awesome. I was like, that was great. And then her parents later came up to me and they were like, you know, we don't feel bad about letting her go out, you know, on her own after that.
I half expected that story to end with she offered to help you up
And what?
and then like flipped you over again.
Oh yeah. Well, no, we weren't doing. What was that? That's like judo or something, right? Or jujitsu, or you know, or the.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do any like grappling and throwing and stuff like that. Taekwondo is mostly like kicking.
I just thought it would be funny to picture her like offering you a hand.
Yeah,
flipping
and then
you back.
throwing me on the ground. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, right, James? Uh-huh. You get the wind knocked out of you, but it's like, yeah, send it to me. Cause yeah, I mean, like those moments are like priceless, right? Even if you get hurt. Well, not if you get like seriously hurt. Then it's memorable, but it's like maybe I don't want it to be so memorable. You know?
Like, that does sound like a terrifying experience with a 10-year-old.
With a rusty nail.
That sounds vaguely threatening.
So why does blood taste like rust?
Well, you know that iron is a huge component of our blood, right?
Yes.
And iron is a huge component of rust.
Ah. But does my blood taste like rust since I drink so much butter? Or does it just taste like butter? Because that would be better.
If your blood is to the point of tasting like butter, I think you should go see a hospital.
I should go see a hospital? Like I'll make a hospital appointment.
Yeah.
Yes, my blood is well oiled. I don't know. I'll be interested. You know what? Now I'm more interested to go see the doctor just to get my blood panel results and see what's going on in there, since I've been drinking butter for breakfast every day for like 2 years or 3 years or something.
You know, I have a hard time condoning drinking butter for breakfast.
Well, and here's the thing. I only put like 2 tablespoons of butter on there, right? There's like 2 like healthy chunks, right? Healthy. But then when I eat my chicken and rice, I'll put like 1.5 times that amount of butter on there.
Joe's just like, I want all the butter.
I love butter.
How much butter do you go through on average, like in a week?
Well, a stick lasts me 4 days. That's just in my coffee. Right? So that's 1 stick of butter, 4 days. And then so if I eat, so a stick of butter would last me 2 days. Not even. With the amount I and here's the other thing. I'll drink coffee when I'm at work too. But it's a fat delivery system. Because I put heavy whipping cream in it.
You know, I will admit, I do love heavy whipping cream.
It's so good. It's not good by itself. But it's
I put it on my cereal.
Yes. Oh, it'd be so good in cereal.
Not the healthiest breakfast, I will admit. I'm not saying this is a healthy breakfast. It is a delicious breakfast.
Yes, it is. Wait, wait. Salted butter is a bad idea. Butter dripping down
Uh,
an IV. Yes.
let's
Yes.
see. Wait, let's see what James said. He said, "I
James.
don't think I have a white blood cell count. When I see my blood, it's all." Well, fortunately, your blood is not supposed to be white. It is supposed to be red. You have white blood cells. If you were seeing white, then that would be concerning because, like, for example, if you there's the person who like their gums turned white, and it's because their white blood cell count was too high,
Really?
and then they had cancer.
Ooh. Well, that's no fun.
So
That's kind of a
not
buzzkill.
having white blood is good.
Yes. Red blood is good. And James, no, I don't just chug the butter machine at the movie theater. However, however, now, see, I very rarely go to the movie theaters. Like, most of the time, if I'm going to watch a movie, it's just going to be like on Netflix or something, you know? But when I go to the movie theater, they used to put butter on for you behind the counter. Now they have the butter machine, you put your own butter on, which I think is great, except there's a problem with that. When they did it behind the counter, I could be like, okay, just fill the bucket half full, then put butter on it, and then fill it the rest of the way and put more butter on it. Right? Because that's what I would ask them to do. So now I have a full bucket and I got to somehow get butter all the way down through there. And it's so hard. Like I want to just ask them, hey, can you fill that up halfway and I'll go put butter on it and then I'll come bring it back and you can fill it up the rest of the way. Will that work?
Joe's like, I gotta drown it in butter now.
Yeah, man. Butter's so good. It's like the bet. I'll eat mashed potatoes with just butter because butter. I'll eat macaroni noodles, just butter. Spaghetti noodles, just butter.
When I was little, I used to eat saltine crackers covered in butter.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. Why did you stop?
Yeah, good question.
uh, Vampires love me because my blood is well oiled.
They don't even have to like put butter on you. They can just bite in.
Oh, wait, James, that's a really good idea. Put a straw in the popcorn bucket. Okay, I wasn't quite getting it until you put it like I saw put a straw in it then, and then I was like, what does that mean? And then you clarified. Thank you for clarifying.
I was originally picturing you putting a straw and then like drinking the butter.
I mean, that would work. I would do that. I have a picture. I should send you the picture. So I was at Steve's. That's the beginning of most terrible stories. I was at Steve's house and we were like, hey, let's make some bacon. Yes. Good idea, right? Making bacon is a good idea.
Uh-huh.
So we cooked this bacon in the oven because that's the easiest, I find, best way I like to cook bacon. Put it on cookie sheets, cover them in tinfoil, and then, and then put bacon on the tinfoil, and then you don't have to do any dishes because, you just throw the tinfoil.
Have you ever air fried bacon?
I have not. I don't have an air fryer.
Air fryers are life changing.
I'm sure. In fact, I just sold a cabinet job. Well, I didn't. It's in negotiation right now to a person whose kitchen burnt because their air fryer was plugged in.
Oh. Rip.
Rip. Yep. But now they need new cabinets because their kitchen burnt, right? Um, so anyway, so we make this bacon. And now there's a picture because what we did was we were like, okay, let's take all the grease, we'll pour it into a jar, and I'm going to drink it. Not all of it, just a little bit. So now there's a picture of me drinking bacon grease out of a jar.
Oh, Lay wants to know what we recommend eating while in the U.S.
Chick-fil-A.
Okay, but Chick-fil-A is overrated in my opinion. Okay, to
It's
be fair,
good.
okay, wait. Okay, here's the thing, right? We have to consider where he's going in the U.S., right? He's going to,
Well,
so
Dallas
like
Fort
he's in
Worth,
Texas.
right? So Chick-fil-A's in Texas.
I mean, yeah, but I don't like Chick-fil-A, Joe. We've
That's
been over
okay.
this.
You know the best steak I ever ate in my life I ate in Texas.
Yeah, I was like, Texas has good steak. I also
Hmm.
know a lot of people love to swear by their like the like Mexican like mashup stuff or whatever
Hmm.
it's called. I don't remember what it's called right now. Since like Texas is so close to Mexico, there's a lot of influence on some of that.
Yeah, you get that Tex-Mex, whatever.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I've
Uh-huh.
heard great things about that.
Hmm.
Um, Kind of depends on what you like.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, I don't know how our cuisine here differs from the Polish cuisine because I've never been to Poland.
Well, one of my favorite, you know what? I never had a pierogi. Pierogies are Polish. And I'd never had a
Are they
pierogi
Polish?
until I was like in like in my 20s. And I'd never heard of them before and I was like, "Pierogies, what are those?" And then I ate one and they were good. I was like, "Those are great." Chick-fil-A's good. What else is like one of those just American food? If you can eat it, if you can find a place that has coney dogs, get a Flint style coney dog. They might not have
I've
them down in
never heard of
Texas.
that.
That might be a Michigan thing. It's basically a chili dog, right?
Hmm.
But the Flint
Let
style
me
ones are
think.
better because they're meaty chili instead of like soupy, oniony chili, grossness, nastiness. Um,
There's also like Kentucky Fried Chicken is a big U.S. thing, right?
yeah.
I mean, Kentucky is a U.S. state.
Yes. You know, we have this place in Lansing called Crack Chicken. It's so good.
Crack chicken?
Crack Chicken.
Did they put crack in it?
Basically, I mean it's so good. Like the seasoning. It's so good. And it's so funny because like you go to the ghetto, right? You go to like the just like this nasty ghetto part of town. And so there's a KFC, and then two doors down from that, there's Crack Chicken, and then two doors down from that, there's Popeyes. I'm like, they got the fried chicken row right here in the hood in Lansing. I was like,
I've actually only
yes.
had Popeyes once.
Have you?
It's good though.
Popeyes is great.
And then I think Raising Cane might be a Utah thing, but Raising Cane's another one
We have one of
pretty big
those.
around here.
They're probably in Texas too.
They might be.
Jeff,
I know a lot of people like that. Oh,
Jeff,
hi Jeff.
4901. That's not the crack chicken I was talking about. That is another location of crack chicken. The one I was talking about is on MLK, right near Holmes, like MLK and Holmes. Yeah, that's where I had crack chicken. And it's actually like one of those places where it's also like one of those fish markets, where like you go and you pick your raw fish and then they cook it for you or whatever. And they figured like that's how they figured out how to how to accept food stamps at these places. It's quite interesting because food stamps are good for like groceries, like when you buy like groceries food, right? So they made it this fish market, like the East Side Fish Fry place, right? There you go. Yeah, 3140 South Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Mm-hmm. Um, and so, but you couldn't use food stamps at a restaurant when they prepare the food for you, like when you just buy prepared food. So they found a little way around it where they're like, what we'll do is we'll sell you the raw food and then we'll cook it for you.
I see.
And then there was like this big old like controversy about it. It's kind of funny. Humble takeout spot serving fried and grilled fish plus fried chicken wings and down home sides. Yes. and they got crack chicken there. They got crack chicken on at the East Side Fish Fry on South Kalamazoo Street too.
Well, Coca-Cola used to be made with Coke.
Yes, cocaine.
Yep.
Cocaine.
Maybe the crack
Panera.
chicken is made with Coke. Oh yes, Panera.
Panera's good. I like the food. I like the food. And this is probably just a Michigan thing. I like the food. I hate the attitude. Everybody
I
that
actually think I've been to Panera. Fun fact.
have you? You've never been to Panera?
Mm-mm.
Have you seen a Panera?
Yeah, I think so.
They have them out there.
Maybe. I think they have Panera.
Yeah, no. Coca-Cola didn't contain morphine. It'd be a lot better if it did, though.
Yeah, we have Panera out here.
Yeah. It was used as a replacement for morphine-addicted soldiers. So they.
Or do you have Kneaders? Do you know Kneaders?
No, what is that?
It's like a cafe.
Okay. Neaters, huh?
Kneaders, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's not a thing
It's
elsewhere.
not a nationwide thing. But see, here's the thing.
I don't know.
Michigan is like detached from the rest of the United States. We're the last ones to get anything. Unless it's like Fago and Verner's because that they originated here.
I feel like Burley, Idaho would be the last place to get anything.
Maybe you're right. Out in the middle of nowhere.
Where there's more cows than there are people.
Yeah, that's a great. That's great.
Yeah, Burley
That's
does not
probably
have Chick-fil-A.
Burley does not have Chick-fil-A.
Mm-mm.
Ah, poor Burley. Man, that's okay.
I don't even know if we have a Starbucks.
You got a McDonald's?
We do have McDonald's. We have McDonald's and Burger King and Dairy Queen.
McDonald's, Burger King, Dairy Queen. Okay. Oh,
And I think there might be a Taco Bell.
wait. Do we have dolphins at McDonald's? Why would there be dolphins at McDonald's? Or
I wish we
vampires?
had dolphins at McDonald's. I would go to McDonald's every day.
Why, you want to eat a dolphin?
No, I want to play with the dolphin.
You want to play with the dolphin?
Yeah, like you know how they have play places at McDonald's?
Yeah.
Like maybe they'd have like a dolphin play place.
Dolphin play place at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it. They do have vampires at McDonald's probably in the middle of the night in Vegas.
There's lots of 24/7 McDonald's around here.
Really?
Yeah,
You still
we
got
have
the
McDonald's.
24/7 ones?
We do.
They shut down all the 24/7 stuff around here. I'm kind of bummed.
I don't
yeah,
know
that's
why
right.
we have them because there's so many things here that close early. Like the amount of places that are like we're closed at like 7 or 9. I'm like, why?
Yeah, why close so early? What are you, a lunch place?
But they do it. And then McDonald's is like, we just don't close.
Yeah. But then somebody's got to be there.
Yeah.
So, wow. You guys have kept us going.
The vampires.
The-
Leo was saying he remembers Ryan seeing an improv about one or two of those during a stream.
oh, yeah, the vampires.
I do know what you're talking about.
He
Yeah.
did that.
I think that's on YouTube somewhere.
I'm sure it is. Fleetwood Diner. That's a Michigan thing. That's a Lansing, Michigan thing. You can tell Jeff's from around here, man. We know our stuff about Lansing, Michigan. There it is. Oh, it's open 24 hours? No way.
Joe's like, I know where I'm going tonight.
Going to Fleetwood. They probably actually no, they don't have butter coffee.
That's probably a good thing.
Maybe they can give me butter and coffee and I can combine them.
I think butter coffee is enough for one meal. I don't think you need it for two.
You're right. It is enough for one meal. I'll tell you one thing about that though. It does get your whole digestive system moving in a hurry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if I had a self love stick up my butt, it would not be there for long.
I don't have comments about this.
What?
I don't know if I have comments about this.
You don't have comments? Ryan will.
Ryan will.
Yeah.
He'll be like, Joe, what are you doing? Show.
Right? Well,
he'll be like, why are you traumatizing everyone?
I know. Sorry. It's all for fun though. Butter coffee is better than bulletproof coffee.
Trauma.
It's actually bulletproof coffee is just coffee with butter and coconut oil in it. So it's basically like just the butter without the coconut oil. And probably coconut oil is probably better for you than butter. I would imagine.
That I think is true.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right. We're like 18 minutes over having when we were supposed to end the show, and I gotta clean my desk. I think we
started a little late though.
We kind of did. You're right. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Butter coffee is a do-it-yourself version of bulletproof coffee. Yeah, actually, bulletproof coffee has some kind of MCT, medium chain triglyceride oil, and also they use ghee butter. GHEE, which is supposed to be like the super pure, good, the best kind of butter. But I just use Walmart butter.
One of these days, Joe's gonna be like, I just skipped the coffee now. I just chugged the butter.
That's why not, you gotta just melt butter and coconut oil, whip it all up with a mixer thingy, beat it with a self-love stick.
Yeah, that'll fix it.
Yep, and then it's good. Good to go, man. But, all right. We gotta wrap up. I gotta clean my desk because I spilled butter coffee on it, which is
that was hilarious.
Everything's gonna be greasy. It smells good though. It smells like coconut in here now. It's kind of nice. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. You guys are amazing. We'll be back next week. Ryan still won't be here. So I don't know, but I had a lot of fun with Haley these last 2 weeks. I think we might do it again if you're around.
Yeah, if I'm available, I'd love to.
All right, cool. Well, so guys, join us next Wednesday on Don't Worry Wednesday, where we will talk about all kinds of crazy stuff.
Until Ryan bans me permanently. He'll be like, no more.
Until Ryan bans you permanently. Exactly. But yeah, we're gonna we'll see if we can take it even further off the rails next week. What do you think?
Unless we get topics. If we actually get topics, we'll keep it on the rails.
Yeah. So send topics. Go to don'tworrywednesday.com. Click the submit a topic button. Oh, and I forgot the beginning. We are not professional therapists. Obviously.
I don't think they have any doubts about that.
Nope, I'm sure I didn't even need to use the disclaimer today. All right. Okay, cool. Yeah, Wix, bring an impromptu topic. Yes, we would love
an impromptu topic.
Yes, please.
I mean, that's what Ellie's was an impromptu topic.
That's right, and it worked great.
Yeah, we actually covered a real topic today, Joe.
We did. We did good. We did good before it went all the way off the rails. We did great. But all right. But anyway, guys, we love you, and we will see you next week on Don't Worry Wednesday. Until then, have a wonderful week. Take good care of yourselves and those around you, and we'll see you next week. We love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.